victims, and welcome to Survivor's Guild Mini-Sode. Today we are looking at the 2019 movie Sweetheart, written by Alex Thurer, Alex Heiner, and Justin Dillard, and directed by Justin Dillard, starring Kiersey Clemens, Emery Cohen, and Hannah Mangan Lawrence. Sweetheart is about Jen, a college-aged woman who washes up on a deserted island after the boat she was on with friends sinks during a storm. This movie is currently streaming on Netflix, which is why there aren't going to be any clips of this movie included. Jen immediately finds her friend Brad, who has a chunk of coral lodged in his side. She kindly removes it for him, and he kindly dies. She finds some stuff on the island that suggests people have been there, possibly shipwrecked as well. After a storm one night, she walks along the beach to collect fish to eat and notices a small shark that has deep gashes all over its body. She ends up finding a gravesite and drags Brad over to bury him. But the next morning, she sees that something dug him up and dug into him. She sees some floating debris and swims out to it and happens to see a really big hole underwater. That night, she hears a plane flying overhead and she shoots a flare, but since the flare gun wasn't ready, she was a little too late. But when the flare lands in the water, you can see the silhouette of something standing in the water looking at her, which is a really fantastic reveal. She runs further into the jungle and hides from it. The next night, she hides in a hollowed-out, downed tree, only for the beast to rip up the tree trying to get to her. And then the next day, a half of Zach, another friend from the boat, washes up on shore all shredded and bloated. One night, she ends up fighting the monster a little and gets a gash on her leg. A boat then comes ashore the next day with her boyfriend Lucas and a friend Mia. She tells them about the monster and they don't really buy it. She wants to leave the island immediately, but they are sick of being in the open water. So they refuse to leave, and then she tries to take off without them, and things get violent, and Mia knocks Jen out with an oar. We then find out that Jen has a history of being less than honest, and is kind of a Debbie Downer to her friends. And while Lucas is unloading on a tied-up Jen, Mia gets attacked and ultimately killed. Then, Lucas is all freaked out, and so the next day they get everything ready for them to leave. When they get a little bit away from the island, the beast starts attacking the boat and then pulls Jen out of the boat. Jen stabs it with a pocket knife and it lets go of her, but Lucas jumps into the water to save her, only to get taken by the beast. When Jen gets back to the island, she immediately starts preparing to face off with the monster that evening, and she digs up the gravesite to use the bones for weapons as well. That night, after a pretty intense fight, she gets the better of the beast and then does the smartest thing and pretty much decapitates it. So now, to find out, what are your chances of suffering survivor's guilt? This is where we take a look at the main characters and the death that surrounds them to determine what your chances are of surviving this movie. We have a total of 6 characters. I'm counting one of the bodies that she digs up because she mentions that it could be a whole family, so I should be counting more, but I'm only going to count one, so you shouldn't complain. Deal with it. Only one survives, which means that you only have a 16.7% chance of surviving. Given those odds, how many nights would you survive alone on an island before the shape of water fishman guts you like a fish? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and a comment and subscribing. Those things really help me get exposure. And I'd really appreciate it if you wanted to share this video across your social media. This is a little bit abnormal for the type of video that I usually do, but these are just mini-sodes, something that I can stack throughout the week to just upload more content. So, thank you guys, I appreciate you watching, and we will talk to you later.